Hey everyone. So I thought it was a great TED Talk that we got to listen to. I actually really enjoyed how he described conscious listening, how he said that there are certain filters that we're not aware of, which I find actually after he had spoken about it, I was thinking, and it's true, right? Like there are certain things that we're drawn to. Like someone could be talking from across the room and it just falls into one of those filters, their topic, and we automatically start listening. Or say if we know a second language and somebody's speaking in that language, our ears tend to perk up and kind of listen in without us consciously thinking about it or consciously thinking about it. I think one of the things that stuck with me was how noise or listening has a sense of flow or time. And I think I just think back to when, like, if things that my grandma used to tell me, she's no longer with me, but I can always hear her saying, like, oh, don't go running in the street. Or if like, when someone will say, like, I don't know, some of those old sayings, and I will automatically think of my grandma because from listening to her, that has a sense of time for me. I thought another thing that was interesting is how most of his topic was about how listening is kind of a dying art. And I think that to be very true. I think in terms of, right, writing, which that's the one I didn't think of, but writing and recording, social media, small little gifts like we were doing as one of our first assignments. That's one way of now that we communicate or listen to each other, and they're small and fast. And it's because our ability to listen for long periods of time is hard. I think actually just looking or listening for like long lectures, it's harder because you start to zone out. Whereas this TED Talk was about 7 minutes and it was a lot of information in 7 minutes, but it held your attention because it was such a smaller amount of time. In regards to some of the exercises, I actually really thought they were cool. I think the 3 minutes of silence, that's amazing. From being in the medical field and constantly always listening all the time is, it can be tiring. And not only just tiring, you start to block out certain things because else you couldn't work, like monitors beeping, or in my case, because I do work with animals, dogs barking constantly. And you just have to learn how to block those out, else you get tired. So that 3 minute reset he was talking about, I think to be amazing. And sometimes I actually do it without thinking about it. I actually sit in my car sometimes before I get back into my apartment just to be alone, no music, not even looking at my phone, sometimes just closing my eyes just because I'm so tired. But I think it's also a great little reset before, coming back in and like saying hi to my dog and my cat and now my bunny and my boyfriend. It's just nice to have that 3 minutes or whatever it may be just to myself. I think the other thing that I really liked was the thing he mentioned in regards he called it mixers, where you take normal sounds and you just like make a little song or dance out of it. I don't know if anyone remembers Dane Cook, the comedian, but he made a joke about car alarms and how they go beep boo, beep boo, and he would make little songs about it. And I thought that's what it reminded me of. And I think that's also something fun to do, right? It makes those sounds a little bit more enjoyable that you can't escape, and also teaches you how to listen. I think also one of the other things was, right, that goes in with enjoying the mundane sounds, where you just find, like, right, the car alarm, where it can be something fun to go ahead and make a little song about. And then now I'm going to transition to the other prompt where I was thinking of an example where I could have listened better. And I think one of the times, or not even just one of the times, but I tend to not listen very well to my parents. Like, especially my mom. And I think it's just, you're just so used to hearing it, or my mom always has something to say. And so sometimes I just tend to block it out. And I know she means the best, but I now, by taking this class and also from before, I can realize that I'm not listening to her as well as I should be. I think in particular where, right, Thanksgiving is coming up, and I put together, since they'll be coming over to see me at my place over in Southern California, I put together a little document of like, okay, this is what everyone should bring so that it's a little bit easier to cook when we get here. And instead of, paying attention to that, she goes ahead and she wants to just reiterate everything that I have already spent time typing. And so my brain already thinks of, I just sent this to everyone in our family message. Like, why? And so I stopped listening, and I'm on the phone. This is not just a text. And so I think by actively listening, maybe I can see, instead of being irritated, which also was a thing, I just blocked out what she was saying. I could have listened better and potentially would have maybe learned or understood where she was coming from. But yeah, that was one of the things that I'm actually working on a lot more of now, especially with this class, and also just being away from my mom. I think I'm starting to listen a little bit more. Well, I'm excited to hear what everyone else has to say. See you guys around in class.